telling you, there was a fourth person in that car.
Okay.
And I know where I was sitting, and I know exactly what I saw. You feel me?
Are there any other lies you want to sit here and look at me in the face and disrespect me like that?
This is 23-year-old Stephen Monroe, a murder suspect who put up a huge fight with the detectives preaching his innocence, yet shockingly took a 180 turn when pressured with one specific question.
If this is not true, what you're risking is now you have become the only person that's not telling the truth. You are going to fuck yourself because you're the only one lying.
He is getting interrogated under the suspicion of being involved in a drive-by gang shootout, killing 16-year-old Noah Smith, an innocent bystander who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The detectives knew they'd have to heavily pressure Stephen to get the truth out of him due to his gang affiliation, yet they were not prepared for the fight he was about to put up, shifting all the blame on a made-up driver to cover his own tracks.
With the fact that you're making up this fourth person and that you're putting somebody else in this fucking mess that doesn't need to be involved. You're just selling me a load of bullshit. You're basically pissing on my back and telling me it's right. You have to tell the truth, Stephen.
But little did the detectives know, something was desperately ticking inside Stephen's mind until, without warning, he spilled a truth far darker than the detectives expected.
You can't help me at all, bro.
What?
Or you won't help me. You're not helping me, bro. You work for this thing, bro. Come on, never gonna see my family. Never gonna see my family.
We know what you did, and it's all going to come out. Are you going to be painted out to be a liar, or are you going to stand up here like a man and say exactly what you did and let the chips fall where they may? I understand. Listen, man, I know you're scared. I know you are scared.
On January 12, 2022, Bunnell, Florida, 23-year-old Stephen Monroe, 18-year-old Devondre Williams, and 20-year-old Tyrese Patterson, known as Pooh, were driving around in a black SUV, live streaming on Instagram, making comments at a rival gang member, Terrell Sampson, trying to cause conflict. The three boys drove around the rival gang's area, hoping to spot one of them to start a fight. At about 10 p.m., Stephen and Tyrese spotted the brother of the rival gang member and opened fire at him. During the shootout, the brother's friend, 16-year-old Noah Smith, came outside, unaware of the conflict happening. Noah got shot in the chest, the bullet exiting his body through the back, causing his immediate death. The police couldn't find the three suspects, but finally caught them days later and immediately arrested them. Stephen was brought to the interrogation room, where his version of events started breaking down piece by piece, ending in a sudden breakdown, despite desperately trying to get out of the consequences waiting for him in his future.
Talk about here today is basically clarification on some of the stuff from the incident with Noah Smith from January. Okay, so we have spent obviously hundreds, thousands of hours collecting all the information from everybody that was there, all the cameras, all the cell phone records, all the Instagram records, all that shit. So there's some inconsistencies in what you told us that we need to clarify. Okay, now I want to ask you one more time. Who was in the car the night when you left Rose Petal Drive and you went down to Pinell that ultimately ended up with Noah Smith passing away?
Some dude that I didn't know, and then it was me, Dre, and Pooh.
Okay, where were you seating?
On this, behind the dude on the left side, from the dude that I didn't know.
Okay, so who was in the front seat?
I think Pooh and Dre was on the right side of me.
Okay, so this is that, and I'm glad that's the first thing you said, because this is the inconsistencies that we have. Okay, so we have met with Dre, and we've also met with Tyrese.
Okay.
All right, they have made it very clear exactly what occurred that night, and what we've determined is that you're being less than honest with us.
Me?
Yes, about who was in the car that night and where everybody was seated.
No, sir.
Well, all the evidence would suggest that you're not telling us the exact story. We know that there was only 3 people in the car that night. So this guy that you've talked about, this guy with the wigs that was supposed to be driving the car, we can tell at this point for sure that person does not exist. Okay, we know who was driving because they've told us out of their own mouth that they were driving. Devondre Williams, in an interview with his mom and us, sat there and told us very clearly that he drove the car down to Pinell that night. Okay, and he said very clearly that only him, you, and Tyrese Patterson were in that car.
It's not true.
Okay, well, in an independent, separate conversation with Tyrese Patterson today, Tyrese Patterson confirmed that Devondre Williams was driving, and then you and Tyrese Patterson were on the right side of the car. Okay? So we have witnesses, cameras, cell phone records. When phones are in a car with each other, they communicate with each other and they can kind of tell who's all touching each other's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all this shit. And there is no fourth phone in the car, no fourth person. I would say that. Okay. Are you sure you're talking about the same night that I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'll just tell you what they told us. They told us that Devondre was driving the car. You guys leave Rose Pedal. You drive down to Benel. Tyrese says that you guys were going to his grandma's house to pick up some weed. You pass the block. Terrell Sampson standing on the corner. Terrell starts shooting at you guys. You make the block, come around. Shots were returned at Terrell Sampson. Okay? We've been told that Devondre Williams had a gun, but he did not shoot anybody that night. Okay? So Devondre was driving. Tyrese was in the back seat on the passenger side, and you were in the front on the passenger side. Okay? Shots were fired at Terrell Sampson. Nobody hit Terrell Sampson. All right? Some would say unfortunately. I don't want to say that, but some would say that.
That's not the truth.
Okay. Well, we have also reviewed all your Instagram stuff, your cell phone. We've gone through everything. There's no mention of any fourth person. We interviewed everybody that was at the house that night. Now, what you're risking is, if this is not true, what you're risking is now you have become the only person that's not telling the truth about this.
I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
There was 4 people in that car.
Okay. Well, Tyrese Patterson just told me 5 minutes ago that Dre was driving, Dre hands him a gun, you have your own gun, and you and Tyrese fire at Terrell.
Of course they're going to try to put me in it.
Well, Dre said the same thing.
Of course they're going to try to put me in it. They both got a lot against me.
What does Dre have against you? It seems like you and Dre are pretty tight.
Well, I had gave them the house, like I said, because they didn't have nowhere to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And none of them was paying bills, so I had to dismiss it. You feel me? Because nobody was paying bills, so they was pretty much had to find their own way of doing things. And since I was moving, nobody was gonna have nowhere to go. You feel me? But I wasn't finna stay somewhere where nobody was finna pay the bills, and I'm just paying it by myself.
Fair.
So.
The detective's approach was to lay down as much heavy evidence against Stephen's story as possible, in hopes he cracks and admits to lying. Yet Stephen wasn't fazed. He continued to explain how it makes sense the other boys will lie, because they all had something against him, showing detectives Stephen was trying to take the victim route.
That would lead them to tell on themselves and implicate themselves in a homicide?
Because they're already in some stuff, so of course they're going to try to drag whoever they can into it.
I'll use this word because this is exactly what happened, but Tyrese Patterson confessed to shooting and accidentally hitting Noah Smith today.
Okay.
Dre confessed to driving the car. After Terrell Sampson shot at the car, Dre says he looped around the block, gave the gun to Pooh, you and Pooh shoot down the block, okay?
That's still not true. That's still not true.
All right, well, there was 2 guns used in the shooting.
Okay.
We're being told that both guns were given to you to get rid of. Okay?
That's crazy.
That's what they're saying. And listen, I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah,
All right, I'm not a magician, unfortunately. I can't tell you exactly what happened. I can only tell you what we're being told. And that is what we're being told, and it matches up with the evidence a heck of a lot more than this guy that you're saying that you don't know, you've never met before, and just happens to show up the night that there's a shooting in Benel. And
I understand what you're hearing. I understand what I'm risking.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, there was a 4th person in that car.
Okay.
And I know where I was sitting, and I know exactly what I saw. You feel me?
Okay. So, what do you know about this 4th person?
Nothing. I just know that he had wicks. I ain't never seen him before.
So what?
The first time I seen him, like I said, because Pooh came to the house with him and they asked us, because it was just me and Dre at the house at first. Well, and besides the other people that was there, you feel me? And he came and he asked us, do we want to smoke? And I said, yeah. You feel me? So we all got in the car. And then, like I said, we went to Benel and we started smoking. And that's when all of that stuff happened.
And what? So, but Pooh was at the house all day.
No, Pooh was not at the house all day.
Where was he?
I don't know. But
So
it wasn't
you guys
at the house
were-
all day. Dre, it was like I said, it was me. It was Lil. No, Lil wasn't there. It was me. It was Nevaeh. It was Adrian. And then there was Dre. You feel me? I don't know where Pooh was all day. but
Well, we have videos from your Instagram live. Your
okay, but
Instagram live.
he wasn't there all day.
Well, he
Like I'm
puts you
saying.
guys in Benel on the corner of South Peach Street and East Bowie Street at around 11 a.m. and you're singing your song, smoking, Pooh's in the driver's seat, Dre's in the back. You guys were just posted up on the corner waiting for somebody to pull up, right? Nobody pulls up. You guys leave around 5 o'clock. You guys meet up with Ed Boy at the gym and y'all had him running, right? Somebody pulled a gun on him, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. But Ed Boy's at the gym. Y'all had him running. Ed Boy, Ed Boy. This is the whole Instagram live video that we had seen. A 15-minute video of you and Pooh in the driver's seat of this Kia. And y'all are both pointing guns at the phone saying, you know, fuck the ops, basically, that Ed Boy's a bitch, Rod's a bitch, like, pull up then, all this taunting sort of shit. And then that means Pooh's at your house a couple of hours before you guys roll out to Benel. You guys are together. The phones match up together all day long. So later on, Pooh is sleeping or high or whatever the fuck. Dre drives the Kia. You guys go down to Benel together. This guy, this fourth guy, is not on any videos, no record of him anywhere. Tyrese Patterson, without explaining to him what you said, tells us very clearly, this is what happened that night. Dre's driving, Creek is in the front, I'm in the back. We go down there, we're not looking for trouble. Terrell shoots at us, we come back, and we let off rounds at Terrell. And somehow,
I hear what you're saying,
Noah got hit.
but I'm telling you, there was a fourth person in that car,
Okay?
and Dre was not driving.
Okay.
Dre was right next to me.
Detectives went even further with the evidence, specifically mentioning exact times events happened to show Stephen that they weren't making this information up in an attempt to intimidate him further. But Stephen insisted a fourth person was present in the car who shot the second gun. As if that was the truth, it would leave Stephen completely unmarked from the murder.
Like I said, I didn't see. You
Okay.
feel me? I was too busy hearing the gun sounds and putting my head down.
Okay, so everything is on Pooh. Pooh's fault for everything. Pooh, you think Pooh should get charged with
Like
murder?
I said, I mean, he just admitted to you he was shooting, you feel me?
Okay.
But like I said, there was a fourth person in that car. Like I said, I remember, I know what I seen.
Okay.
Remember?
And you sure you're not confusing it with some other night?
No, I'm
Because
sure.
I know you guys have done, you guys have ridden around there a few times.
No, I'm sure.
Okay. Now, the next, a couple hours later, you hit up, and I know you used to be affiliated with G and all that shit, right? So a couple of hours later, you hit up your boy on Instagram and you tell him that you need some help. You gotta get out of town or some shit. And dude can't talk on the phone for some reason, so he's like, just code it out, right? So then you write 211 on a norm. You write 2-11 on a norm, N-O-R-M. What does 211 on a norm mean to you?
Help. Somebody trying to kill me.
Are there any other lies you want to sit here and look at me in the face and disrespect me like that? You
I'm
want
not
to just get that out of the way?
disrespecting
Because
you.
211, yes you are. 211 on a norm does not mean help, okay?
The detective switched quite quickly to an intimidation tactic to create psychological pressure by saying,
Are there any other lies you want to sit here and look at me in the face and disrespect me like that?
the detective is putting Stephen on the defensive, making him feel cornered and guilty for not cooperating. This is meant to break Stephen down, make him second guess his answer, and push him to admit more. And if you pay attention, something started to switch in Stephen.
If you don't think that we have access to all this old school GD shit that we can just pull up at any
But
moment.
that's old shit. That's not
Oh, the new shit?
current
So,
dude.
okay,
You feel
so,
me? I'm not finna sit here and
no,
lie to you and disrespect
no, that's
you.
exactly what you're doing.
I'm trying to go home.
I'll tell you what you are, is that you're a very bright young man.
Okay.
You come from a good family.
Okay.
You have a good situation at home. You have a stepdaughter. You have a girl that's probably willing to marry you someday. Okay? Now that girl also drove a car that ended up killing Kamarion.
I understand what
Right?
you're saying.
Now your girl is also facing charges for murder.
I understand what you're saying.
Right? So now what you're doing is you're just selling me a load of bullshit. You're basically pissing on my back and telling me it's right here. And I'll tell you this right now. 211 on a norm does not mean help. Everybody knows that, okay? I know what the second letter of the alphabet is, and I know what the 11th letter of the alphabet is. All right? And I know in my mind what on a norm means, okay? And we have ran this by multiple GDs, both old and young. We ran it by gang investigators.
But
So I know what 211 means. 211 means blood killing. Okay? On a norm means civilian, somebody that's not affiliated, not associated. Okay? That's what that means. That's what you wrote a couple of hours afterwards. To me, that means that you knew for sure that this boy was dead and that you needed help to get out of town, right? Because what happened was you guys killed a normal person. That's what it means, okay? You were in the car when this guy died. I'm not saying you shot him.
And I'm telling you, like I said, help. I need help.
Right. 211 means blood killer. Right?
I don't know, dude.
You don't know what 211 means?
Bro, I'm not even like banging like that.
You used to be.
Yeah, I used to be.
Listen, man, in your music videos and all the shit that you claim, that's a different persona
I hear what you're saying.
than the Stephen Monroe that's crying to me, begging for help.
Yeah, I understand what you're
That's a
saying.
different person.
Okay.
Okay? So you got to decide which person are you going to be right now, because today is the
I'm
day.
being me, Steven.
Right.
I'm not. That's
Well, I'll tell you what, in about 6 minutes, the whole world is going to find out what's happening with all this shit.
I understand what you're saying.
All right? Because in 6 minutes, we're going live with local news all over the
I
state of
understand.
Florida. You need to decide right now, are you going to be the only one that has a different story that's not true?
But that's the truth, though.
That's
all
not
I can only tell you.
Devondre confessed to driving the
Okay,
car.
I hear what you're telling. I hear
And
what you're
Pooh
saying.
confessed to being in the back and shooting.
Okay.
You need to tell me the truth. The truth that happened that night is that you guys go down there, you're in the front seat, you have your Glock on you, this boy shot at you and tried to kill you. You guys pull around and you shot at him back. Was it self-defense?
I never had a gun, bro, and I wasn't sitting in the front seat. I know where I was sitting.
Okay, so all the other videos of you having a gun a couple of hours beforehand, days beforehand, weeks beforehand, all these guns that you're playing with all the fucking time, right? The guns that all your roommates tell us that you have. All these things. This is the one time you guys decide to go down to op territory and not have your fucking pole
That
on?
shit was Dre gun, like I said.
Which one?
Whatever gun that y'all talking about,
Okay.
any of them guns.
I'm not saying who
Dre
owns
stuff.
the gun. I don't care who
I
owns the gun.
understand what you're saying.
You shot down the
but I'm
block that
telling you,
night.
No, I didn't.
Steven, you are gonna fuck yourself because you're the only one lying.
Steven's body language here, putting his head more and more down and avoiding eye contact, shows that the detectives' consistent pushing is starting to get to him now. And they knew that. That's why, as you're about to see, they did not slow down and pushed even further.
You're the only one lying. Why the fuck would you be the only one lying in this scenario?
I hear what you're saying.
No, I don't think you do, man. I don't know if you think this shit is just fake, but it ain't.
Okay.
Tyrese is in the other room, a couple rooms down. He's getting arrested for first-degree murder as we
I hear
speak.
what you're saying, dude. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, I
understand
don't-
what you're saying, but I do.
Steven, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. The state attorney's office is not very happy with the fact that you're making up this fourth person and that you're putting somebody else in this fucking mess that doesn't need to be involved, because you guys need to be held accountable for your actions, okay? Devondre Williams is driving, Tyrese Patterson shot, and you shot. How many times did you shoot? That is the big question.
I didn't shoot.
Okay, well, you
No,
shot a
man.
Glock that night.
No, I didn't.
Okay, there's witnesses there, and there's two co-defendants in the car.
I hear what you're saying. Of course, they're
Okay.
gonna try to drag me in something because they already in some shit.
They
bro.
told on themselves. They don't have to drag you into nothing.
Yes,
They
the
told
fuck
on
they do
themselves.
because they don't want to go down by themselves.
They don't give a fuck.
Exactly. They
No,
don't give a
Dre doesn't want to go down whatsoever,
fuck. Okay.
right? So he
I hear
says,
what you're saying,
he
bro.
says you shoot, and he says Pooh shoots.
I hear what you're
Pooh,
saying.
this morning, he just out of anger, we slide him a piece of paper that says you have a warrant for your arrest for murder. He's like, fuck that, I'm not the only one going down for this shit, I'll tell you what happened. He tells us the whole story, and it exactly matches up with the evidence. Exactly.
I hear what you're saying, but
What you're saying does not make any sense.
it
No
might not make
driver.
sense. It
You
might
said
not
a
make
driver
sense,
shot
but
out
I'm
of the
telling
driver's
you,
seat, right? You said a driver shot the opposite direction. This driver, this guy.
because he did.
So he shot down the other end of the block where there was no ops at?
Bro,
Why would he do that?
it's bananas, bro. They just trying to wet shit up. They just trying to kill people. They don't care about anything.
Oh, they
Hear
don't.
what I'm
Okay.
telling you, bro. That's all I can tell you.
What caliber gun did you shoot that night?
I didn't shoot any gun.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. And I'll tell you what, the caliber of the gun makes a big difference in this situation.
I understand what you're
Okay,
saying.
no, I don't think you do exactly, okay? Because, listen, ultimately, Noah was shot and killed with a specific type of bullet, okay? And I think you know whose gun killed Noah Smith. Right? Now, what I'm telling you is that there was multiple shell casings on scene from two different guns. DNA has been recovered from those shell casings. Okay? The DNA is being sent off, and we're going to compare it to yours. I'll tell you, I'll bet you $1 million that your DNA is all over those shell casings. Those are guns that you've handled multiple times.
Yeah, I touched it.
Right, you touched it, sure. Those are guns that you've handled. You're in the car. This boy gets shot. Pooh shoots a gun down the street. He told us what type of gun it was. You shoot a gun down the street. You need to tell me what type of gun that is, because we need to figure out if your bullet is the one that killed Noah or not. Because I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, that is a massive factor in this case. Do you want to just be somebody in the car that was shooting at Terrell? Terrell don't want to fucking press charges. Terrell's going down for this shit too.
This was the moment the evidence became too overwhelming for Stephen. DNA evidence on the shell casings was quite damning, and the reality started sinking in.
You think Terrell's going to come in here and say, oh yeah, I want to press charges against Stephen Monroe for shooting at me? Nobody gives a fuck about that. Everybody just wants everybody to be held accountable for what they did during the Noah Smith case. All right? And you were in that car, you shot a gun down the street. I know you shot a Glock. I want to know what caliber it was. 2 options. Because this kid was hit with a specific type of bullet. And if you say the right one, it might be all right. I know this is tough, man. I get it. Because you've thought to yourself 1,000 times. You've played it over with Donna. This is what we're going to say. You've talked about it with Dre. This is what we're going to say. All right, and now shit is crashing down on everybody because nobody was able to stay 10 toes down and keep it 100. That's not the way things work, bro. That's not the way it works. All we had to do was slide a piece of paper across the table to Tyrese, and Tyrese flipped immediately. We picked up Dre on some bullshit charge. He comes in with his mama, and he is spilling the beans immediately. You're the only one that's lying. In the opinion of most people, and I'm talking about a jury, let's say, 12 people are going to sit there, and they're going to listen to sweet little 80-pound Devondre Williams say, this is what I did, I'm really sorry for my actions. Tyrese Patterson's going to say, this is what I did, I didn't mean to kill Noah, it was an accident. And then you're going to get up there and say, actually, there was some 4th guy with Wicks, and he did that, and I was just minding my own business in the backseat, when everybody knows it's not true, man. You have to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth, Stephen. Think about what your fucking parents are going to say about this, man. Your parents are fucking good people, man.
Bringing up his parents was a tactic by the police to make Stephen feel unbearable guilt and shame, to further deepen his discomfort. And it finally made him completely crumble.
Your parents are fucking good people, man. We know what you did, and it's all going to come out. It's just a matter of fact of whether or not you are going to be honest about it and ask for forgiveness. Or you're just going to be the guy that lies and says, I don't want to be held responsible for what I did. And that is not the right place to be.
The reason the officer is shooting out the questions quickly and bluntly now is because psychologically, while Stephen is in this heightened emotional state, he's likely not thinking clearly about the consequences of admitting all of his story was a lie. All he'd be thinking about now is to get out of this uncomfortable situation. Yet the officer pushed a bit too hard and almost ruined their whole strategy.
Listen. It's all right. Listen, you're a grown man, okay? You got to make a choice right now. Okay, I understand. You have to make a choice right now. Are you going to be painted out to be a liar, or are you going to stand up here like a man and say exactly what you did and let the chips fall where they may? I understand. Listen, man, I know you're scared. I know you are scared. Listen, this is not where you need to be right now.
I don't know what kind of gun it was. I really don't.
Okay. Now, I want to try this again, all right? And we're on the right path now. Where you guys start letting off fire down the block. What was the intended target? Was it Noah Smith? Did you guys try to shoot and kill Noah Smith? You don't know that who was aiming for? Okay, who were you aiming at? Huh? You were aiming at Terrell? Did you see him standing out there? Did he still have a gun when he was standing out there? Okay, did you think he was going to shoot at you? You did. Okay. How many times did you shoot? This is the big important question. Just one time? And you can't remember what kind of gun you had? And listen, you've already done a really good job, okay? But I do think, listen, relax, man. I do think that you know exactly what gun you had, because I believe that that's your gun.
I don't know what kind of gun I really don't.
Okay. All right, listen, relax.
Stephen was entering a zone where his emotions could make him shut off completely and refuse to answer anything, which prompted the officer to tell Stephen to calm down. After this point, the detective slowed down the pace of the questions, taking a more understanding and comforting approach, and the truth started spilling.
Hey.
I don't want to
Okay, I know you don't want to be here, man. Nobody wants to be here. I get that. I completely get that. Tyrese just got hit with a murder charge, bro.
I just don't want to be in this situation.
I get it. You're trying to protect yourself. I understand that. And listen, you have an attorney that you can explain all this to, but you have to be honest with your attorney too. How is your attorney going to rightfully defend you if you're not fucking telling him exactly what happened? And then you're letting the police find out all the information and find out all the details to make you look like a fucking liar. And then how is anybody going to feel bad for you if you're just sitting up here telling things that aren't true? That's what I'm trying to get across to you. Okay? Ultimately, you have to stand up like a man and defend yourself in front of people in a courtroom. And you have to be able to say, this is what I did and this is why I did it. And when you are saying things that are clearly not true, that's when you look to be like a monster and people don't trust you anymore. Okay? You have to be trustworthy. All right, so let's start out. How did all this beef start? What is the fucking problem between the Sampsons and you guys?
I don't know. I inherited the beef because Dre didn't have nowhere to stay and Pooh didn't have nowhere to stay, so I let them stay at my house.
Okay.
And then they were already beefing with these people. I was just being a friend. I was not finna let nobody just hurt my friends or do whatever. Starting to run up on me and they telling me they got my address and stuff. And
right. Who said they had your address?
I don't know. One of them said they had it. We was arguing with him on live.
Was that Rod?
I think it was Rod.
Because Rod was on the live saying like, I just passed Rose Petal. Okay. So what you guys are at Rose Petal. You guys are going to go down to Bunnell to go get some weed to smoke. Is that right? Did you guys leave Rose Petal with the purpose of going to start some shit with the ops?
No.
Okay, when you get down there, you're driving down Anderson Street. Dre is in the front driving, you are in the front passenger, and Pooh is right behind you in the passenger, right? Okay, when you get to that corner there by the houses, by like sweat shit up there, what happens out there? Who says what?
I don't really know where, like, Vanilla like that. Like
No,
I said, but
well-
I just know that.
Where Terrell was standing. Where,
Seen Terrell
okay,
and Pooh started yelling. I guess he was telling people to get out the way. And Terrell started shooting at the car. And he spun back. And Terrell. And then he just started shooting at Terrell.
okay, so Terrell starts shooting, you guys make the corner, right, you go down the road where the gym's at, you come down Bowie Street, right, this is all on camera, so that's why I'm saying it, because I know for a fact. You pull up to the corner, Dre's driving, now he pulls up so that you and Pooh have a clear line of sight, so you can see exactly down the street there, and then you and Pooh just start shooting at the same time. Did Pooh shoot first? Do you know who shot first?
As I said, one time, Pooh was dumping a whole clip.
Okay, you shot one time and Pooh dumped the whole clip.
This was the moment Steven finally verbally admitted to being the second shooter besides Tyrese, finally giving the officers a valuable confession. But the officers made sure to get everything they possibly can out of him whilst he was still emotionally vulnerable. They needed to know where the guns were. So you have gotten this far into the story, which shows me you're pretty interested on true crime. So why not receive weekly updates on crime events that have happened across the world? It's totally free. All you gotta do is subscribe to my free newsletter, and you're good to go. Let's get back to the case.
Crit, I need to know where these guns are at.
I really don't know where they're at.
Tyrese told me this morning that you were going to give them to somebody around the way, around the corner, and that they were going to hold them for you.
No.
I need to get these guns off the street.
I don't know where they're at.
Okay.
And I didn't give nobody nothing.
People in the house have told us that you were going to get rid of them. And then Tyrese told us this morning that you were going to give them to a neighbor.
That's not true.
Where did they go then, if that's not where they were?
I don't know.
We have to know what you did with it. Did you keep it with you?
No, I just left.
Did you give it back to, what's his name? To who?
Dre and Pooh, they took, like I said, they took the weapons with them. I didn't, like after that night, I just,
Both of these guys say that they were your guns and that you knew what happened with them afterwards.
That's not true.
Are they in your house in Oak Hill?
No.
Well, I'll tell you one other thing, okay? You're being very honest now, and that's apparent. But the one thing that can probably put this over the edge a little bit to make you look a lot better than you look right now is to tell us where we can get these guns at.
But I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. And I really did not give nobody no Gangster. No, that's not true. Adding a fourth person, that was a lot. I'm scared and I don't want to be in this situation and get in trouble for defending myself.
Okay. What's the
Me
purpose?
taking the guns and all of this extra shit.
All right, let me ask you this. What's the purpose of coming up with the fourth person in the car as the driver?
Purpose of the fourth person being in the car. Me being scared, I just didn't know what to say. I kind of already said it. It slipped out of my mouth, so I just
So,
scared. I'm in a situation I don't want to be in.
but having this fake person driving, what does that do for the story?
I was really just trying to save Dre.
You were trying to cover
I was
for
trying to
Dre?
help people, bro.
Okay.
But all it's doing is getting me in trouble.
Well, yeah, I mean, being there the night that a kid dies and you being in the car where a bunch of people were shooting is definitely not a good look.
Yeah, I understand.
Stephen insisted he wasn't responsible for getting rid of the guns and claimed he truly didn't know where they were. Yet detectives already knew that wasn't true, but they tried to get a little more out. Yet Stephen got pushed over the edge when the detective brought out the paper that would determine his fate.
What else do you know about this whole situation? Is there anything else you know about the Noah Smith thing?
No,
Tell me what 211 on a norm means.
I just told you. From my understanding.
Does 211 on a norm means that a person was killed and I need help?
Yes.
Okay. But 211 is known to you to be BK.
I don't really know what it stands for. I wasn't briefed formally.
Okay.
Like, so I don't really know all the codes. I just know that means I need help and
Okay.
somebody was killed.
All right. So, last thing I have for you, it's not the best news in the world, okay?
I understand.
You're being charged today with first-degree murder
Okay.
of Noah Smith. You have no bond. This is just a charge. It's not a conviction. Do you understand what that difference is?
No.
Okay, it just means that you have a warrant for your arrest for murder. You are going to be charged today, but it doesn't mean that things aren't going to play out differently with the attorneys and with the court system. So they're going to book you in down here again for the charge of homicide, and then things can play out how they play out with the attorneys. But our responsibility here is done, and there's really not much more that we can do outside of just explaining to you the process. But ultimately, I'm not saying that you killed Noah Smith per se.
Ain't nobody gonna help me, bro.
What we're saying is that many people took actions that night that led to the death of Noah Smith. An innocent kid. Do you understand that? You, Dre, and Pooh, and Terrell Sampson all made choices that night that led a 15-year-old kid to end up losing his life. And this is what the lifestyle that you guys have chose to live, the fake lifestyle of rapping about killing ops and pulling out your fucking pole and I'm gonna shoot you and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, all that fake bullshit has led you to this point where now you and your friends are all going to prison for murder.
I was just scared, bro. I was just trying to protect myself.
Okay, well, you were scared enough to shoot into a crowd of people.
I didn't shoot because people
You shot at somebody. Right, there was multiple people out there, and you were far enough away where unless you're some fucking military sniper, you run the risk of hurting somebody else. It would have been one thing if you guys would have returned fire immediately, but to wait 30 seconds, come around the block, and spray down the block, that's a big, big fucking problem.
I just sprayed. I just shot one time. Bro.
Yeah, well, the car did.
Who did it?
Okay, well, Pooh will be held accountable for that. He's already been charged this morning.
So basically, there ain't shit y'all could do, and you just wanted to get that out of me so that you could charge me.
You're already being charged. We didn't just make this up as we were sitting.
No, I
This is
understand what
already
you're
done.
saying, but either way,
At the end of the day,
I'm not gonna be helped regardless.
well, Stephen, we can't help you. What we do is we collect evidence and give it to the state attorney's
Y'all
office.
can't
That's what
help
I
me
told
at
you
all,
last time.
bro.
What?
Or you won't help me.
No, that's not true. What we are not allowed to help you. We can't offer you anything. I can't
I'm not
promise
saying
you.
that, bro.
Right, but what you need to do is you need to get with your attorney and communicate with the
Not
state
gonna
attorney's
help me,
office.
bro.
That's their whole job, is to help
She
you.
not gonna help me, bro. They work for the state, bro. Come on.
No, that's not true at all, man. They go back and forth all the time. Your attorney can communicate with our attorney. You guys can make up some sort of situation on how this all gets resolved. It has nothing to do with us at that point. Our job is done. We've collected the evidence and given it to the state. The state attorney's office felt there was enough probable cause to charge you with homicide today. That's all we're saying.
I'm never gonna see my family. I'm never gonna see my family again, bro.
Stephen was clearly shaken by the reality he now sees for himself, so the officers gave him one last chance to tell them where the guns are.
Are you 100% sure you don't remember what caliber gun you fired? I mean, now that we're being honest with each other.
Man, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Steven, I still think you know.
I don't.
And it wasn't your gun.
No. I don't know evidence of mine. I didn't even have guns until Trey and them came to my house.
Alright, man. Step up and let's hit it.
Can I please just get a second?
Yeah, come on. I'll put you someplace where you can get a second down around these guys, huh?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Just take a right on this bench.
Stephen refused to admit to hiding the guns, but thankfully, soon after, officers were able to secure the guns, and forensic evidence showed 6 shell casings at the scene. 5 were from a 9mm gun, and 1 from a .40 caliber gun, matching up with what Stephen confessed. Stephen Monroe was charged with first-degree murder with a firearm. After a 3-day trial, the jury found him guilty in less than 20 minutes, and he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out our Patreon for the never-before-seen crimes and all uncensored videos. Also, we have a huge growing community on true crime. Don't be the one who is missing out, and subscribe to all of them.